All right, we'll get started here. I'm going to go through the Zoom instructions first, and then Jimmy can call the order. All right, so just 1 second. All right, so Zoom instructions. Number 1, please say your name before speaking, before making a motion. Number 2, board members are required to state their location during roll call. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. That is *6 if you're on the phone. Do not click unknown links that may be shared in the Zoom chat, as the township does not disseminate information with this function. The meeting is being recorded. Please be respectful of those speaking and do not interrupt. If anyone is disruptive to the point of the Parks Board from conducting business, you'll get 1 warning before being removed. If there's a problem on Zoom, the meeting will be reset utilizing the same information. If the meeting is unable to continue, we will post a notice on the township Facebook and website. Reminder to board members that emailing or texting is not allowed during a public meeting. And number 9, please be patient as we're all learning. Thank you. And I need to go grab a charger for the computer, so I'll be back while you guys get started.
Okay.
All right, do you want to call the meeting to order?
Yes, we'll call the meeting to order at 6:20. And we'll have public comments. There is no one from the public here. So we will proceed to the agenda.
Do we have to do roll call?
Oh, yes, roll call. Roll call. So Jim Searing, and I'm at home in Saugatuck Township, Allegan County, Michigan.
Lori Gosshorn, Allegan County, Saugatuck Township, at home.
Andy Diaz, Allegan County, Saugatuck Township, at work.
Okay. And absent are Erica Barman and Dana Bird. The agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? And do you have any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Nope, I'm good. I'll move to approve the agenda.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The financials.
Do we want to do the minutes?
I'm getting out of order.
Yeah.
Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
I have one comment. In number 8B, where he's talking about opening up the 2 sections of the dog park, I wanted to reflect more correctly that we are looking to open up the small dog area and the special use area, not the large area with the little dog area. So something along those lines. Because to me, when I read that, it was open to interpretation that might not be correct.
So you want that amended to include the last line where it says possibility of expanding and opening in the fence to connect 2 different areas. That line would say connect the special use area to the small dog area.
That's good.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Andy, can you?
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now. Special use area to small
Dog area, yeah.
dog area. Yeah, I can change that.
Okay. And then just forward it to Lori.
Okay.
Copy me and forward it to Lori.
Babinski or me?
No, Lori Babinski.
Yeah, we're gonna have to clarify.
Because see, this is the first time we've done this. So once we have an amendment to the minutes and the person changes it, do we delay our vote of approval until our April meeting? Because obviously we can't do
No,
it.
I think we still approve it. It's just we We're
Okay.
technically changing it and we just forwarded in.
Okay,
So we approve it as amended.
Correct.
okay.
All right, so I move to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
You have to do a roll call.
Okay. Lori,
Yes,
Andy,
Yes.
and Jim? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
But all votes on Zoom have to be roll call.
well,
okay.
I'll be right back. I gotta go let my dog out. Okay.
Okay. The next item is the financial report. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at that? You want that, you want to bring that up? I have a hard copy. I'm gonna go get from Lori each month a hard copy so that I can sort of look at it ahead of time. In the financials, it appears the only charges we had in February were snow plowing for River Bluff and the dog park. So there's two charges, basically $150. And I think the way it appears in the report, Lori got two invoices and they roll them up. So the snow plowing for River Bluff. So there's actually two entries on here for a total of $150 for each park. So that's our total charge for this month. And our amended budget is 11,750, and we have and we've spent 8,824, and we have 2925 remaining for April, May, and June. So unless we have some big maintenance expense,
Should be okay.
we'll do okay. And we had no additional, as far as I could tell, I didn't see any additional donations for February.
I just picked up dog park donations today and I have not counted it yet.
Okay,
But there was a pretty good pile in there, so,
Nice.
yeah.
and you said the lock had frozen or,
Yeah, the little padlock on there had gotten some water in it and sub-zero temperatures. I was not gonna be able to blow on it enough with hot air to defrost it, so.
okay. Any other questions about the financials?
No, looks good to me if somebody wants to approve them.
So I make a motion that we approve the financials as written.
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have to do a roll call? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. Andy?
Yes, I mean, aye.
Okay.
That's,
Jim, yes. Laurie?
Yes.
Okay, the financials are approved as written. The next item, the Blue Star Trail permanent repairs. I talked to Dana or exchanged emails with Dana. He said he has not heard anything from the engineers or the contractors. And he's not optimistic that we're going to get any support from them. Joe, do you know anything more than that?
All right, this is that section near the fire department, correct?
Yes, yes. This
I
is,
believe we did hear back from them, and I don't think we are going to be able to move forward on that. But we'll be still looking at repairs. So I will follow up with Dana on that, but I do believe we did hear back from them. I'll have to double check.
yeah, in our exchange of emails, he recommended that we put $5,000 in our budget for 21, 22, and try and do some work by the telephone pole. When you look at it, I looked at it the other day, the patch there's a section of about 10 feet by the telephone pole that's already started to pull away. So it's dropped about an inch to 2 inches. So the bank is continuing to collapse. So his guess was that about $5,000, we could shore that up. So at least it would stop collapsing. So why don't you talk to him about that, and when I'll include that 5,000 in the budget request that I send you.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, that's bad luck. And of course, the Blue Star Trail folks are going to come to the township in the next few months and want the board to make a motion to support the next phase of the construction of the trail. Just a side note, we originally estimated that it would cost us $2,000 a year because we've had pretty good luck on the trail, on the old trail on Holland Street and north on Blue Star. We have done very little maintenance very little maintenance has been required other than just the basic cleaning and trimming. And we did one pavement replacement where the roots had broken up part of the pavement. So it appears maybe our estimate was a little low. And early on, Joe, before you were involved, when the first grant was submitted, the board agreed that the township would do the maintenance, would cover the maintenance for the trail. Things got bogged down with the city of Saugatuck. The city of Saugatuck wanted the Blue Star Trail folks to commit to maintaining, at least provide money for the maintenance of the trail. It's probably a thing our board should revisit, because this situation would, just to repair it, it would basically blow a good part of our maintenance money for the next couple of years, you know.
Mhm.
And so I feel like it's something that the board should consider before they vote to support the continuing construction of the trail, just to clarify where the Blue Star Trail folks stand on this. Anyway, the park checklist, Joe and Andy are working on that.
We're meeting on Friday.
And
Good.
the OneDrive item, it goes into the emails that will be for all the park commissioners. You'll be getting a township email. That'll be how the township communicates with you. That is for record retention, keeping. It also protects you as a board member because you're conducting it in a more transparent way, and we have access to that for that record keeping, and also allows you to the Microsoft Teams platform, which will have this list so that you all be accessible to it. And I'll be going over that with Andy on Friday, kind of show what we're looking at.
Good. Okay.
Okay. The next item is the Blue Star Trail Bridge and the insurance and bids for that work. Do you have an update on that, Joe?
Yeah, so I talked to the insurance company. They got the number that they worked on, and now we are just kind of going back and forth about who's going to be repairing it and what that final cost will be. So how it will work is the insurance company will be reimbursing us monies to fix the bridge, and then we'll use that money to fix it. And then we'll just have to do paperwork with them. So we're finalizing that so that we can get that rolling this spring.
So will you guys be looking for estimates, or should we be doing that?
I'll be doing that.
Okay.
So we have a few already that I believe Griffin has already taken care of for the insurance claim.
Lori, do you want to, a fella that would like to bid on the project? Do you want to?
Yeah, the guy who we were talking with today, he did a lot of sheep fences, and so he's been helping us, keep the dog park fencing in good shape, and he's going to help us with some adjustments and things, but his bread and butter is doing bridges. He's done a lot of the bridges along Lakeshore Road in Douglas, and would like to submit a bid to be considered in the running as well. So his name is Richard Mead. He's from New Zealand, so he'll have a funny accent, but I've seen his work and it's very good. I don't know what he charges, but he's been very reasonable with the fencing.
Okay. Well, I believe Griffin had already received bids on it and had taken care of that prior to me coming here. So I'll have to look back and see what was going on. But when I talked to the insurance company, they have the bids that we were working with.
Okay.
That's my update on the bridge repair.
Okay. So if you want to open it to additional bids, you'll just let Lori know and she can contact Richard and
Well,
whatever.
however you
guys want to
if people are interested in any township projects, they'll need to call the office and I'll talk to them as the township manager. So
Okay.
I'll conduct those. So when projects are going on, and that, I'll be signing off on the approval of those.
Okay.
As my job as township manager is to manage the budget. And that's a big part of it. So I need to know when we're doing projects, so as I watch things, everything's falling in line with what we estimated and the township board approved.
Okay. The next item is the Blue Star Trail Tri-Community Meeting. I attended that meeting. Basically, it was a discussion. I called in a little late, but they talked about the 4 engineering companies that they're considering, and then they had a spreadsheet with weighted skills that these different engineering companies possessed. They were going to get together and narrow it down to 2. And I don't know. I know they have a meeting, and Joe, you probably know because you're on, that they did narrow it down to 2, and then they have another meeting on the 12th. And they were going to have the 2 either do a presentation on the 12th or on the 26th. Do you know more?
I don't have more than that right now, Jim.
Okay. So they're trying to come up with engineers, and they're going to get a presentation, and then whoever they pick to do the work, then they would begin preparing the engineering study and the cost and so on and so forth. At one of the earlier meetings, Carmichael said that they had a goal of trying to get the grant request in by this summer, and I'm not sure exactly the date. So they're working against a pretty tight timeline. Okay. The next item is Sundown Beach access request. Have you heard any more from the Drain Commission?
Have not yet.
Okay. I did look at, there's a picnic table and a bench at that park. The bench was donated. It's got a little plaque on it. The picnic table we put in probably 4 or 5 years ago. We probably should move those because I'd hate to see them, run over by a bulldozer. The picnic table, I worked on securing it, dug a hole, drove a rebar in, filled a hole with cement, and then their chain is buried in the cement and the rebar that keeps the table from. I believe you could probably dig up that. The bench is held on by a couple bolts that go into a little cement. I probably could dig those up too. So I will take a look at that as soon as the ground thaws out, which I think it will this weekend, and see if I can dig those up so we can move those at least out of the way. It would be nice if they did not have to destroy the one tree which would be on the southeast corner of the park. There's plenty of room for them to get in. So,
Hey, Jim,
yes.
sometime in the next week or two, if we can plan to go out there so you can show me what's going on. I've been out there only once to,
Okay.
kind of seeing what's going on. If we could plan to go out to sundown and kind of, you can point some of the stuff out, it'll help me as we plan for the future and get things taken care of.
Okay, how about this? Because next week on the 11th to the 24th, we're going to go down to visit our daughter in South Carolina. So maybe we could get together on the 8th, 9th, or 10th.
I'll give you a call, Jim, and we can find a date that works.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The next item is the Planning Commission committees. They have 3 committees: the Blue Star Trail Commercial, the Rural Character, and Affordable Housing. I think Lori is volunteered for the Blue Star Trail Commercial. I volunteered for the Affordable Housing. And Andy, if you're interested, all you have to do is contact Becky, and she will connect you with a person. Bill Rowe is in charge of the affordable housing, and Dave Eiley, the Blue Star Trail. They're not the Blue Star Trail, the Blue Star Commercial Corridor. So if you're interested.
What was Becky's last name again?
Israel's.
Israel's.
Yeah, I can send you her email address.
Yeah, I'll see what days they meet on and stuff. See if I can make that work. The hard part is my schedule is really, really full right now with basketball and my other side job.
No.
Those committees have not yet started, as they are also getting their items ready, utilizing Microsoft as well. So we're working on getting all that wrapped up so that they can get rolling on them.
But the third one that's left is the affordable housing, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people are going to be on each committee. So you can exchange emails with her and just tell her your interest. And you know, I think, I'm not sure how many people. I'll let her work with you on that. But you, obviously, Lori and I don't have full-time jobs, so we have a little more free time. You obviously are pretty committed.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I don't think it's a mandatory thing.
No, but I like helping, and the
Yeah.
affordable housing one is interesting to me
Oh,
as
good.
far as like, because I work at the school, so
Yeah,
affordable housing is kind of a big deal for the school.
yeah.
And yeah, and the thing that you could do is, yeah, talk to her. I'm
I'll
sure
talk
there's
to her and
lots of,
I'll
you
see
know,
what she's got going and I'll talk to her.
Yeah,
fine.
and then you could share it with me if they run out of positions. Uh, You know, something I'm sort of interested in too. So, but not to the detail or not probably the interest that you are. Um, Okay, the next item is the Kalamazoo River. Uh, And Dana said he has not received any updates on that. That's still out there and just waiting for funding. Okay, the new business, we talked a little bit about the budget. I will go ahead and come up with a, a budget, a draft for Joe. I think Lori's working on getting some numbers for the fence.
Well, he was gonna send that to your email so that
Okay.
you would have it, and then you can
Okay.
share that with Joe or whoever else, you know, and then tell us at a meeting.
Okay. So my plan is to take a look at our maintenance money that we've spent so far this year. And Griffin added $1,000 to it. So that's why we have an amended budget. And then we got some money back from the Blue Star Trail Group and so on and so forth. I will come up with a number. I'll probably add like 10% to it. You know, so it might go from 11,000 to 12.5 or something like that. And then from 408, the Park Project Fund, the 5,000 that Dana mentioned to repair the Blue Star Trail, and then whatever Richard comes up for the fence. So right now, does anybody else have any things that in looking at the parks that you know, I'm going to get an estimate from Overijssels. I think the picnic tables are about $250. I looked at the picnic tables at River Bluff. They look okay. They could be cleaned up. We could go out there and just do a little table maintenance project.
Yeah.
But any other small items like that, if you let me know, we can put an extra 1,000 or 2,000 in for those kind of items. And
Well, and if are we getting to parks reports then? Because, you know, you were at the dog park, and I think you saw how bad the driveway is leading to the parking lot.
okay.
And so that's going to need some repairs before they're driven on and made worse. And I think that this would be a good year to add more mulch in certain areas, if not all areas, because it's kind of building up a nice ridge of a path with some fairly wet areas in springtime and in rainy times. But there are still some low areas that could really use something. And I know we've had pipes in there, which have not stayed in place. And we also need to decide if we want to, well, you and I were going to fix the lattice work, because that's not you said you had some extra lattice, right?
Yeah, I actually have some old lattice laying
Yeah.
around. Laying around,
That's
it's
not
not
a
a
problem.
good thing.
Yeah.
As far as the pot, well, let's wait till we get to the parks report because let's just delay that because I think the potholes, every year we have potholes there.
Yeah.
And every year Glenn fills them. So that's okay. Um, okay, let's go on to the planning commission presentation. What happened is I got an email from Becky Israel and she's trying to improve the communications between the parks and the planning commission. Uh, so she asked me if I would, for their April meeting, and I believe it's on the 26th of April, uh, to give a little presentation on the parks. So what I was going to do is come up with a little outline, a little history of the parks, talk briefly about each park, and then my plan was to let each one of you then take your area of interest. Like Dana is interested in the River Bluff restoration, Lori in the dog park. Andy can talk about the bike trail, and maybe schedule each one of you to go to one of the planning commission meetings and take 10 or 15 minutes and talk about the individual parks. Now that was my thought about that, and when I replied to her and said that I would do it, I included what I just said. Your thoughts?
I guess since we're not really needing to go to the planning commission for anything, do they need more drilled down information on them than you can give, or would your overview of what our parks are and
I added the part about each person going to the park or going to the planning commission because I thought it would give us an opportunity to sort of get to know each other. Now, I hope, and we can talk about that later at the end, that by April we'll be allowed to have in-person meetings again. Because it's sort of difficult to have little handouts and do this kind of stuff in a Zoom call. I feel like it's easier to interact with folks in person and have a an informal question and answer type thing. So I guess we'll just have to play that by ear and see what happens. And obviously, we could schedule this thing. I mean, it all doesn't have to be done in the next couple months.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind at all.
I'm good with whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought it would be beneficial for us to get to know them and them to get to know us and etc.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will do when I I told Becky I would have an outline. Once I have this outline, I'll forward it to each of you so you can see just generally what I was thinking about doing. And I think, and I'll try and get a hold of Erica. Erica's the one person who has been in the parks a lot longer than I have. I don't know how long. I'd like to get some history of how the dog park was actually put together with the donations and so forth. Okay. Okay, so now we'll go to the parks report. River Bluff. Well, I've got Erica, Jim, and Dana. The only thing that I noticed at River Bluff is the handicap sign post and sign got knocked down by the snowplow. Snowplow guys always push the posts, those big 6x6 posts or 8x8, however big they are, over a little bit, and they straighten them out once the snow melts. I thought I'd just take a shovel and redig the hole and put that handicap pole back in. I'll do that this weekend. But other than that, I have not walked down to the river, but it looked like there were cars there and tracks. So as far as I know, and no one's complained about trees down or anything. So that's what I know about River Bluff.
Yeah, and I haven't been down there either, so I've been avoiding the ice.
Not a bad idea.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the trails when they get really icy, fall in my butt. Dog park?
Yeah, so driveway, mulch. Do we want to talk any more about what we talked about today?
Let's have, as far as the driveway, can you contact Glenn? He does that every spring, fills the potholes, and it's not real expensive, but we definitely have to do it, and we have to do it every spring. And someday it would be nice to pave it. At one point, we had a plan to get asphalt shavings, and I think they may have actually been put on. That was an inexpensive way to do it, but it would cost us 25,000-30,000 to get that paved probably. So Joe, if you can do that and get the potholes fixed, they need just as soon as the ground thaws. As far as a mulch, I will go back and look. I think it was about $750, but I've got some of the old financial reports, and maybe I can find that.
Well, and we were also, one of us, I don't think it was me, was going to talk to a Cut Above. I think that's who is right around the corner, about dropping off some mulch, but they would have to have a key access, which I think you have, Joe, to the back area, because there's a fence that would prohibit them from putting them back to where we installed a gate for the little front loader or Bobcat to dig into the mulch and spread it around. So do we remember who was going to talk to a Cut Above? And
who has the key to that? That's the road that goes to that tower back there. I don't know, it's a 911 tower or cell tower. Joe, do we have a key for that gate?
I'll have to look at it and see what it is. Because if it's a cell tower, it might be the cell company, but
Yeah.
I'll have to go out and look.
Well, Glenn gets in there somehow, I believe, because that's where the gate is that he got there last time with the wood chips.
Okay.
So Lori, did you say you would go to the Cut Above that's right down the road there?
I know somebody volunteered to do it, but
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
I don't remember. Let me quick look at my-
Yeah, I would do it when I get back from my little trip.
When do you leave?
Pardon?
When do you leave?
Next Thursday, I think it's the
Okay.
11th.
11th.
The 11th through I think we're supposed to get home on the 25th.
Okay.
So there's plenty of time. I mean, we don't want to do it till the snow melts and the ground dries out a little bit.
Right.
anyway.
Right.
So,
All right. Well, if no one else is going to do it, I can do it, I suppose.
okay. And I've had them, because this guy's often dump a load. I had a couple loads here dumped one time. Jan Landry sent the guys over here and dumped them, not in my front yard, but close by. I didn't realize it was going to be the pile it was. Fortunately, it composts down.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Anything else about the dog park?
Do we want to talk about any of the other maintenance, fence maintenance things we talked about today?
I think once we get the estimate from Richard, we more or less know what the plan is. It's just getting a cost estimate. When he talked about fixing the gates at the dog park, when there's ice and snow, the gates get all jammed up and the gates are too close to the ground. And when we put the concrete in where those gates are to, improve it, we didn't raise the gate a little bit to give it a little more clearance. So when there gets ice and snow under there, the gates get jammed. If he gives us says he can do that for like $250, I think we can cover that in our maintenance. So he could just do that. We've got, like I said, about $2,800 still left in our budget. So
Yeah, that and removing that section of fence to open up the little dog area.
yeah, whatever. I mean, some of this stuff does not have to be a specific budget request. We have some maintenance money in there, and those items are basically maintenance. So.
And
Okay.
the additional maintenance item that he's been giving us a bid that would need a little bit more attention as a bigger project is to remove and replace rotten supports and kind of work through those on an as needed basis. So he's going to give us some idea of what he's looking at for that.
Right. So that would be, instead of taking that kind of project out of our maintenance, we should go ahead and budget that and
Yeah.
put it
I'm
in.
going to send that to you.
Right. Okay. Sundown, we sort of talked about that. Joe and I are going to get together and go out there and I can show them. And the other choice, instead of me trying to dig that stuff up, when the contractor, whoever's going to go down to the beach there, I'm sure you will walk through that whole thing because the fence, they have to pull out the fence too.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to cut down too many trees. There's not that many trees there, actually.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's all I have for Sundown. And then Veterans Park does not get much use, so I don't know. Do you have anything else, Lori?
No, it's still there.
Okay. Andy, the bike trail?
Nothing other than the stuff we covered earlier.
Okay.
I mean, Joe was driving by today and kids were out using it. I saw a few other people other than kids. Now that it's starting to warm up, it's gonna start getting used even more again. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I saw on my way home today, I saw a guy out there with a couple of dogs off leash. So I don't know if we want to maybe put a sign or something, because if you have a dog that's real friendly, that's okay if they come running up to you. I've got a dog I have to be careful of, and I can't take her to River Bluff because I know a lot of people let their dogs off. And but if the bike trail is going to be off leash, that was a bit of a worry for me because I've got a dog I have to be very careful of.
Trying to think where we could put a sign. The hard part is because it's just so long.
Yeah, this guy was at the bridge starting at the church.
Okay.
So I don't know if we, I know Sisters in Ink can take a regular big sign and print side by side signs and then cut it down the middle, and it's not that expensive. I don't know if that's something we'd want to do or not, but that was a scary thing to see. It's like, holy crap.
I guess we'd have to see how much those signs cost and stuff, and how far apart we'd have to put them if that's something we want to do. I'm just trying to figure out how many places we want to put it so people would actually see it. Oh.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like if it's at Sundown Park, I mean, everybody's going to come in at the same location, or if it's at River Bluff, everybody's coming in the same location.
Yeah.
The trail is just, I'm just trying to figure it out where we could do signs enough that people would recognize.
Yeah,
Even though people should just have their dogs on a leash. If you, I mean, I don't, you're out like in that situation is common sense, but yeah.
Well,
yeah,
go ahead. Most of the time when you run into somebody with a dog that's a little bit aggressive, the folks, will, if the dog is running free, the people will call the dog back and hook the leash up. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just hard because there's always those people that just don't care, which sucks.
Right,
yeah.
right. Then you just,
Dogs.
right.
And 2 against 1 wouldn't be fair, so.
No.
Alrighty.
I have a story, but I'll save it for not to be recorded.
Okay.
Okay, the last item I have is, Joe, we had talked briefly about a minutes template. I did not put it on the agenda because Joe has prepared a minutes template, and I'm going to send it to everyone. We had made the decision to do our minutes in alphabetical order. So we've gotten out of order. Andy did his, Erica did hers, Jim and Lori. So so the order should be Andy, Dana, Erica, Jim, and Lori. Dana, who's not here, is up for next month. So I'm going to forward this template to everyone, and it would be very helpful, or is very helpful, when we go through our minutes. I will let Dana know that he's up next month, and we'll sort of go from there. So I guess, like Forrest Gump, I just saw that. He said, and that's all I have to say about that, or something like that. I guess that's all I have to say about that topic. Does anybody else have any, or Joe, do you want to?
No, I don't have any comments right now.
All right.
It's the problem with the Zoom meeting, and this is a little commentary, you can't, it's hard to look at a person and see the reaction.
Yeah.
And when they first started, when I was working, when voicemail first started, people would give whatever they were going to say. And because they didn't get any reaction, they would repeat it again. And they would repeat it again. And you would hear this. So it got to the point where you wouldn't listen to any voicemail. It was sort of goofy. And it's, in a way, it's like that with the Zoom call. I feel like I need to say more, because it's hard to look at your expression and notice if you're dozed off. I'm sure Andy wants to get home and eat supper.
I'm on a diet anyway. I got a small dinner.
Okay.
Looks like, should we call the meeting at 7:07?
Yes. Now yeah, let's just call the meeting, and there's 2 different ways of doing it. But I can just say, since there are no more additional public comments, we'll end the meeting at 7:07.
Alrighty.
And the next meeting is April 7th.